There is a trap where I see many people around me fall into, and it's a trap that cannot be fixed by earning more money. Actually, on the contrary, it gets worse by earning more money. Now, I know this sounds weird, but let me explain. Let me tell you a quick story first about how this all started. My mom recently retired and she shared with me how much she's earning for retirement. Now, in Germany, the retirement rules are a little bit different than in other countries. It's a pay-as-you-go pension model, so you don't get out what you put in for yourself, but you get paid out what the current workers are paying in. But that's actually not my point. Now, I'd say what she gets for retirement is a decent amount of money. But the question is it enough? Is it enough for what you are used to or what you have planned for retirement? Now, my mom's actually fine because she did not just rely on the state pension, but it got me thinking about the people around me. And to be honest with you, I'm starting to worry a little bit, which is also why I'm making this video, because I'm kind of worried about you too. Let me tell you why. If we haven't met, I'm Sophia. I've been learning about money and investing for the past decade. And on this channel, I share all the strategies that I used to build wealth without giving up the good life. Alright, now let's talk about the trap. The first part of the trap is that I genuinely believe that our generation, we are not going to get that much pension. And that's a problem because I guess in a way we learned from our parents and our grandparents, that we're going to be taken care of in old age. But they lived during a time with a different age structure, right, of society. So there were a lot of young people and a lot of working people and not that many old people. But now that's changing, and I think for our generation it's important for us to really think about retirement and how we're going to get paid in that time. And not even just our generation. In fact, I recently talked to someone who's also retired and who was self-employed during his working life. And he literally told me if he had not invested for himself, he couldn't do any of the nice things like traveling he's doing now in retirement by just relying on the state pension. And that was a very good reminder for me how important it is to think about this early and to act on this early. All right, now here's the other part of the story. So friends of mine, they earn an above average income, like professionals usually do. Now in this context, it's helpful to actually know the average. The average net income in Germany, for example, is 2,700 euros per month. In the US, it's about $5,300. That's about double. So it's good to know the average income of your country. Now let's take, for simplicity's sake, $4,000 a month. Now when you spend that whole $4,000, then it's a big trap, because you're leading the lifestyle of $4,000 a month. But if you don't take care of your own retirement, then it'll be much less than $4,000 a month. I don't think that's you though. I think you do save and invest a part of your income. So do my friends actually. But then why am I still worried? Well, the thing is, let's say from that $4,000 a month, you put $500 away into investments. Now, theoretically, that is not bad, because $500 invested over a time period of 30 years still compounds to over $500,000, calculated with a return of 7% per year. But from this amount, this $500,000, slightly more, you only get an additional $17,000 per year, which is about $1,400 a month. What I did here, by the way, to get to that number was I calculated with taking out 3% of the whole portfolio per year. And now the real problem that I see is that at the same time, you are spending $3,500. And maybe that income of $4,000 increases a little bit to $4,100, then $4,200. But then the savings rate of $500 is set. And you think you're going to be fine because you're saving and investing, or maybe you don't even think about it that much anymore. And then with that higher slightly income, you spend even more. You spend $3,600, $3,700. This is what I meant when I said that earning more actually makes it worse. Because now the gap between the wealth you would need in order to maintain your lifestyle and the wealth you actually build gets bigger and bigger. And it also becomes harder to fill the gap because you're already used to spending $3,500 or $3,600 or $3,700. Are you guys getting this? Now here's the irony. My friends wouldn't call themselves luxury lovers or high life enthusiasts. or however you want to call the people who like the finer things in life. They would call themselves completely normal, like having a car, going out to restaurants, catching a coffee on the way, going on vacations, but not like 5-star hotel vacations, but like normal vacations. But the thing is, the money still goes somewhere. And then going back from a lifestyle you're already used to is just really, really hard. Now, why am I telling you all of this? So what I'm really trying to say here, the larger the gap between how much you invest and how much you spend, the more it will suck for you, excuse my language, if that income stream breaks away. And this doesn't even have to be retirement, because I get it, it's so far away in our heads, right? But maybe something happens in the job, or you want to reduce hours. Or maybe you're making plans for a family and then you have maternal leave and maybe part-time work afterwards. And then, like I said, the bigger the gap is, the harder it becomes. I mean, imagine someone earning 120,000 and spending 10,000 a month. And then for whatever reason, this person has to go back to spending only 2,000 a month. I mean, that's a nightmare, isn't it? But if instead of spending 10,000, maybe they spend only 5,000 and put the other 5,000 towards their wealth, then there's practically no gap. And if something happens to the income stream, they still have that buffer, that wealth they have built. Are you guys getting this? All right, now let's talk about the solution. I already touched on it, but my main point is that how much you save and invest has to match your lifestyle. I actually like to call this be rich to live rich. Now, I'm not often using this because I suspect that you do not identify with the word being rich that much. But what it means is that we do not just want to live rich, right? Even if that's not how you would call it. But we don't want to burn our money in the process of spending everything. We want to actually be rich, which means that our lifestyle is backed by our wealth. And if you do it right, it's not nearly as hard or complicated as people think it is. Just look at your overall net worth and also look at your savings rate and or investment rate. Update it at least once a year, because the last time you did this may be a few years back. And in the meantime, lifestyle inflation sneaked itself into your life. If you are the lazy type, you don't even have to look at your expenses. You just invest 600 instead of 500. I promise you, you won't even miss the 100. And then a few months later, you do the same thing again. And then instead of 600, you invest 700. Now, of course, I do recommend to look at your expenses because it gives you a great insight. I can imagine that you will be shocked where your money really goes once you pay attention. Now, if you want to dive deeper into how to build wealth in the most efficient way and avoid the mistake we just talked about, I'm talking about the right strategies in my Financial Freedom web class. It's live and it's free. You'll find a link down below where you can sign up. If you're still here, thank you for watching. I hope this video inspired you to take action, and I wish you financial success. Bye-bye.